Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we've got a lot to talk about. If you haven't heard already, Lakai got bought out, and then the new owners fired everyone. So no more Mike Carroll, no more Rick Howard, no more skateboarding team. Everyone you've come to know and love over the years, they are gone from Lakai. So now the new owners, the CEO is a guy named Mark Roca. I think he's based out in like Barcelona or something. And he owns a company called Inversal, which specializes in finding failing e-commerce brands, buying them, and then turning them around. So to start off, I would kind of want to start off with Lakai's statement that Mark put out. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. I'll kind of sum it up, but basically it's saying that Lakai was losing $1 million per year. It was doing really, really bad. Rick and Mike haven't owned it for a long time. And then Mark, new owner of Lakai, he bought it, offered ownership to Rick and Mike, equity, it's the same thing, compensation, and then all he wanted was they wanted to reduce the current skate team budget by 23%. And then for the skate team, a lot of these guys didn't have ongoing contracts, so they wanted to offer them contracts starting on November 1st, and then they had no plans to remove the skate team. And then Lakai's future is not going to change. They want to be core, build a skate team, release full-length films and travel videos, create a hometown hero program. And then their next steps is that they want Rick and Mike to maybe buy back the company. And then he signs it off with Mark Roca, just a dude trying to save Lakai with his own money. So I want to talk about how he signs us off in the first place because it sounds very pretentious to me. This guy, so it really gives off the vibe that like, oh, I'm doing you guys a favor. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm spending a lot of it to save Lakai. You know, that's a brand that like everyone loves, and everyone does. But they love it for the people behind it and the heritage it has. And no one knows who you are. Like so before the signature, you referred to yourself as just Mark. Well, there's another very well-known skateboarder called Mark Johnson. And anyone that doesn't look too deep into this might assume that like, hey, this is Mark Johnson buying Lakai. No, it's not. This is some other dude outside of skateboarding buying Lakai. Now, going back to the statement, basically says that like, oh yeah, Rick and Mike are on it. They're still part of Lakai. We're not gonna fire anyone. That turns out to be a huge lie. At this point, you probably heard there were rumors before this statement. Now, what Mike Carroll put on Instagram, his Instagram is Furry Calamari, by the way. What he says is that all I'll say is that on October 29th, Rick and I were let go from Lakai by the new owner because we refused to cut the team. This statement was published 3 days ago, so that would be November 7th. So before November, everyone was already fired and gone. But yet this statement is saying that like, oh yeah, no one's gone. We're still gonna be all good. So to me, this is just a straight up lie. And if you go on Lakai's website, there's no team page. Everyone's gone. If you go into the product descriptions of the pro models, so like the Terrace, Atlantic, the Flacco 2, so on, there is zero mention of the pro names. So let's say like Vincent Alvarez's shoe, the Atlantic. Before you would actually be able to go on there and it says like, oh yeah, this shoes is inspired by Vincent Alvarez's skateboarding or whatever. They removed his name from that. They removed everyone's name from the product descriptions. And they also raised the price of all the shoes by like about $30 or so. Why? I got no idea. And in addition to that, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm getting a ton of Instagram ads for Lakai. I am not going to support your the new leadership of this brand because you fired everyone. So please stop putting out these ads. You're wasting a ton of money on people who already know what's up. So now I kind of want to go into like who the hell is Mark Roca. And this is all publicly available information, by the way, and don't actually go harass this guy. You can actually go find his LinkedIn pretty easily. And then I also have a Spanish article based out in Barcelona and an interview that he did. So I want to start off with the interview. This was posted about 5 months ago, so this is before the whole Lakai thing. It's about an hour long. I listened to it twice when I was playing Halo, so I might not have all the details memorized. But it's basically a lot of like talk about business and stuff. If you find it interesting, you could really listen to it, I guess. But basically, his company, as I think I've mentioned already, specializes in buying failing e-commerce brands and turning them around. He doesn't name any of these brands, but from what I understand, it's like based off like those generic Amazon brands. And then it's been like supplements, underwear, towels, dog bags that you use to pick up after your dog. It's just stuff like that, basically. And what he says is that like, hey, if there's a brand that we bought that's failing, we're gonna shut it down. And then he also says that like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing even after all these years. I feel like I'm still learning. That doesn't give me a lot of confidence in your ability to turn Lakai around. And by the way, everything I'm going to be referencing to, I am going to put in the video description. So if you go onto the Inverso's website, they don't name any of the brands that they own, and neither does he do that in that video interview. Their brands: a shoe accessory brand, a weighted blanket brand, a supplements brand, a women's underwear brand. I mean, last I checked, it wasn't illegal to list the brands that you own. Like, every big company does that. But he doesn't for some reason. Now I want to go into this article. So this was published by the Giri Knows Post, a Barcelona-based letter. I can't read Spanish, but this website called boardretailers.org, they did a pretty good job breaking it down. So I'm going to kind of just skim through it, because this guy just straight up lied, honestly. So this was published on the 28th of October. The original article was. This summary article was published November 7th. So basically, it's just kind of like what he does. And then it continues on to say Roca, who used to skate, but says he remains immersed in the culture, told the Giri Knows Post as his plan for Lakai includes reducing the catalog and making it a bit more core with the intention of making a head-to-toe Lakai. In his vision, that would involve a clothing line by and for skaters and a more competitive price point to appeal to their real core demographic. Alright, so if you own a skateboard brand, shop, whatever, and you're one of those guys who used to skate, to me, you've lost all credibility. If you own something in the skateboard industry, your answer to the question, do you skate? It should be a yes, not a no or I used to. Because to me, it just means that like you don't understand the culture and the community of skateboarding, especially now because you are trying to infiltrate a very territorial community. And what you did was take one of the most beloved skateboarding brands ever and got rid of everyone that was behind the whole thing. And then now you're saying that like, oh yeah, you want to make it core, you are going to appeal to the core demographic. Well, you're never going to do this because you just fired the core demographic. And then it continues on to say that, like, hey, is Rick and Mike still going to be involved? He says, they never really left, but now they're going to have a greater presence in the day-to-day running of the brand, especially in product creation, and Lakai cannot be understood without Rick and Mike. And you fired them. Let's see, this was published on the 28th. They were fired on the 29th. So I don't know what happened there, but clearly what you're saying is very contradictory to what actually happened. Now, it continues to say regarding Lakai's roster of athletic talent, Rocker went on to assure that the American team is not to be touched. Yeah, you say that. I think you fired all of them. So, I don't know what you were thinking there. Now, it continues on to say that, like, Roca hammered his message home. There is a story that we have already experienced before. New owners arrive, come in with everything, and destroy the team, restructure, and fire people who really understand the brand. This is not the case here. In fact, the banks told us that the first thing to do was to get rid of the team, but he told them that we were crazy. The team is the brand itself, the soul. The last statement, the team is the brand itself. Yes, that is true. I would say that for a lot of people, their favorite skateboard brands, it's, okay, yeah. Maybe half of it, it's going to be the product, you know, whatever that brand sells. But a good part of it, if half, if not more, it's going to be the people that actually run the brand, the people behind it. So, for instance, you know, why do people like Last Resort so much? It can't be because of the quality you get for the price you pay. I'm sorry, I've really tried to like the shoes. I just don't. But, you know, the image behind it, the team, the people running it, I love all of that, and a lot of people do. Why do people like Black Label so much? I know it's not the hottest brand right now, but for me, it's one of my favorite brands because of the people behind it. John Lucero, Jason Adams, Jay Gruder, Elijah Ackley. If you're not paying to Elijah Ackley, I don't know what you're doing. Everyone else behind that team, great people. I love them. Why do people like Antihero? Everyone, Frank Gewer, John Cardio, list goes on and on and on. And there's so many other brands, that follow this, Everyone is going to support their brand because of the product and because of the people running it. Why do you support your local skate shop? Because of the people running it, You like them, generally. If you don't like your local skate shop, that's probably because of bad customer service or something. That is ironic. The team is the brand itself, the soul. And you fired every single one of them. So, there's a story that we ever experienced before, New Owners Drive, yada yada. So we've actually already seen this happen last year with Dwindle Distribution. Some company comes in, buys Dwindle Distribution, fires everyone. No more Enjoy, no more Madness, no more Almost, no more of the brands that were under Dwindle Distribution. And we are about to see the very same thing happen this year. But now we can actually put a face to the name of the person behind all this, because he's trying to appear more relatable. Now, leading into the ending of this video, just going to take a look at his LinkedIn. And again, this is all publicly available information. Do not harass this guy. It's not that deep. So basically what he posted that hey, we bought Lakai. It will be the world's #1 core skateboard brand. Let's see. And then apparently they bought Lakai all the way back in September. And again, it's someone who's going to be all yeah, we're going to be so core. We're all about core skateboarding and all that. That's just not something you claim. It's not a title you give yourself. It's a title that other people, your consumer base, the skateboarders, that's something they put onto you because of the actions you do. It's a title you just don't reward yourself. So you will never see other brands be like, oh yeah, we're so core. So that's kind of my opinion, If you're just going to say you can't claim yourself to be core. It's something you have to earn. You're going to say you're core, and then you're going to do everything that's not core, You bought out an actual core skateboard brand, maybe, okay, sure, it wasn't doing so well. And then you can just be hey, yeah, we bought the company and we're going to turn it around. That's all you have to say. You're not just going to be oh yeah, I'm going to make it super core because that's what we're all about. We're about core skateboarding and all that. And then the first thing you do was apparently you fired the actual core people. And then now you're going to say that you're core, still trying to claim that. Oh, Lakai's going to be the #1 core skateboard brand. You already had a great team. You had Mike Carroll, Rick Howard, the masterminds behind that, but also the actual Lakai skate team. No idea why you would fire Jimmy Wilkins. He's one of the best vert skaters in the world. Griffin Gass, love that dude. Riley Hawk, he's been on Lakai for 17 years. But you got rid of him. I don't remember the whole Lakai team, and I can't refer it back because they deleted that page. But Simon Bannerot, Tyler Pacheco, Nico H. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Vincent Alvarez, Stevie Perez, and then so on, so on, so on. I don't remember the full skate team. So yeah, basically, it is not looking good for the new owner of Lakai. Already people in the comments are hating it, and I really do think it's justified hates. In the comments when this statement came out, there were people saying hey, what I've heard from the people behind the scenes is that you fired everyone. And now we're getting confirmation through Mike Carroll himself. That memorial post that Trailtap posted, thanking everyone for 25 years of being in the skate scene. Lakai's dead, honestly. So in my opinion, I fully expect this brand to just be dead. The people behind, the actual awesome people behind it, no more. Just run by, not really Faceless Corporation, because now we have a face to the name. But it's just not going to be the same. It's probably going to, Lakai, all the stock is probably going to be, discount stores, whatever. And eventually it's going to close down. That's pretty much what happened to Dwindle. I don't know if you can still buy stuff from them, but no one's writing any more Dwindle products. Enjoy. Madness, Almost, whatever. And this is going to be the same exact thing with Lakai. So yeah, this was kind of a rambly video. Hopefully I've made my points and opinions clear about the situation. If you want to get some Lakais before it's dead, or stock that existed before these guys took over, I would get it off your local skate shop, because I think I said it before, the new owners of Lakai, they boosted the price up by like $30 or so. And then most skate shops right now, they're at the same price, or from what I understand, a lot of them have actually discounted the prices heavily, $30, $40 or so, just to get this brand out of their stock. So hopefully this isn't too much of a big bummer for anyone. It is for me. I actually, Lakai was my first core skate shoe brand, and I actually really like them. But for, for the hardcore Lakai fans, people who really like their stuff, I am sorry for your loss. So that has been another video. Feel free to discuss this in the comment section below or on my Discord server. Link in the description below. And as always, I will see you in the next one.